Happy Tuesday, Wednesday. What day is this? Wednesday? I don't know. I wasn't here yesterday and now I'm all confused. Sorry about that. Hump day today. Happy day. And sorry about yesterday, but I told the girls yesterday morning, I can't find my driveway. There was just one solid sheet of white out there. So, yeah. And my garage door got stuck and then my opener blew up and it's just bad. But anyway, we're here today.
You are.
And we have a guest other than Pete Wilson, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But what we're going to do right now is start off with our morning news update. And of course, the morning news update is always brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell, give Nia a call, 740-418-4135. And she'll be out working for you. And in just a minute, you're going to see why we're all flustered this morning. But before we get to that, let's get to Pete Wilson. What's going on, buddy?
Well, I tell you baited the crowd here for the mid part of the show. So we'll see what happens.
I know you're not worthy, Pete.
No, I know. We'll get through this as quick as we can, and then get to the special guest.
No, that's totally fine.
But of course, the weather is at the top of the news. Winter has taken its biggest bite so far out of us, and it may not be over according to the weather forecast. But as for the here and now, no snow or ice overnight, or if there was, maybe just a coating. I didn't have much out on the car this morning. But because of the traveling conditions, all the local schools in Jackson and Vinton counties in our coverage area are closed. That includes the Buckeye Hills Career Center just over the county line in Gallia County, and all the campuses for the University of Rio Grande are closed as well. A couple of extra notes. There is going to be online instruction for the University of Rio Grande students, so hopefully you all know what to do if you're in that category. And at Oak Hill, last night when they announced that they would be closing, they were going to try to do a remote learning plan today, even though the schools were closed. Early this morning, they canceled that part of it too, so no remote learning in the Oak Hill schools if you had not heard that yet. As far as some of the other closures, I believe we still are under a level 2 snow advisory in both Jackson and Vinton counties, which of course means that hazardous driving conditions out there. If you have optional trips out, if something you can put off, you might want to do that. The Senior Citizen Center in Jackson will be operating today. We know that affects a lot of the elderly folks who need transportation and, of course, the home-delivered meal service. It is going to be operating today, at least partially. It'll get off to a late start, a little bit of a 2-hour delay there. And the drivers, both on the meals and transportation, will go where they can. If the traveling conditions at a certain place aren't safe, then, they're just not going to be able to make it, but they're going to go where they can. Also, my brother's place in the Wellston Food Pantry, of course, both in Wellston there on Railroad Avenue, it's going to be closed the rest of the week now because of the weather and the traveling conditions. The Jesus in the Hills food program that do a big food giveaway once a month, they had an event set as they normally do, the third Thursday. That would be this Thursday. It has been postponed and moved back now to the fourth Thursday, which would be February the 25th. They're still planning on doing it, but they're putting it off a week because, they don't want to have it and have a bunch of folks maybe miss that because they couldn't get there, or, maybe they're driving when they shouldn't have to by simply postponing it. So that's what they did. Jackson Municipal Court Judge Mark Music let us know that the court is open today for everybody who can get there. It had been closed on yesterday. The Jackson County Commissioners are meeting today. Not a normal day, and they've set their meeting back to 10 o'clock. And all this week, the Commissioner's office will be opening 2 hours later. As far as the other governmental offices, it may not be a uniform situation. If you need to visit a courthouse office, you may want to check to make sure when it is open. I think the courthouses are definitely open in both Jackson and Vinton County, but the individual offices may get off to a late start. I know the Commissioners are not going to be starting till 10 o'clock for the remainder of the week. Also, the MacArthur Village Council meeting was scheduled for this evening at 6 o'clock. That's a normal date, but they have postponed that meeting. I'm not sure it's weather related, but for whatever reason, they're going to have it next Wednesday. That would be February the 24th, and they do start at 6 o'clock. They have been having their meetings during the COVID-19 situation at the MacArthur Firefighters Association Bingo Hall because there's more room there than there is at the Village Hall. Okay, we're getting to the news now, and yesterday there was a press conference at the Ohio State House, and 2 state representatives from our area basically conducted that. That would be State Representative Jason Stevens, who represents the 93rd District. That includes Jackson County and part of Vinton County. And State Representative Jay Edwards, he represents part of Vinton County and some other nearby counties. That's the 94th District, just to the north of us here in Jackson County. Well, anyway, this press conference, very relative, very important to us here in Jackson County and Vinton County as well. It was to introduce and discuss a new legislation that's out on the House floor now for consideration, House Bill 101. It would establish a county jail construction funding formula. Anyone who's paid attention, to the news knows that this has been a burning issue now for a number of years in a lot of counties, including Jackson and Vinton counties, more so in Jackson County than Vinton County. There just isn't enough jail space. That creates all kinds of predictable problems. What House Bill 101 would do, they've already set aside $50 million in the state budget to provide the seed money for this first year, and House Bill 101 would determine how this money could be used by individual counties. During this press conference, our own Sheriff Jackson County, Ted Frazier, was there. He didn't speak during the press conference, but he was there to underscore the importance of what's going on. We're going to have a detailed story in our Saturday edition of the Telegram, and we're going to contact Sheriff Frazier to see firsthand what he has to say about it. But basically, it is a ray of hope for some state money for jail construction. It would be on a needs basis, and there's only so much money to go around, and the need is almost statewide, and you would have to have some matching money, but perhaps at least a possible solution for some of our counties, maybe even ours. We'll certainly be letting you know more about that. Okay, on the COVID-19 front, good news and bad news from Vinton County. On the good news side, we'll tell you that first. Since February the 12th, that's February 12th. When would that be? Last
Friday.
Friday, right? Last Friday. There's only been one new case the last 4 days. One
Wow.
new case in Vinton County. However, they had their 15th death that was reported yesterday.
Oh no.
They've had only 2 deaths in February. I think there was only 1 in January, so the number of COVID-19 related deaths are pretty good. But once again, there was 1. The number of active cases in Vinton County is down all the way to 7. It was 13 at the end of last week, so that trend continues to be a good one. No new report from the Jackson County Health Department yet. Of course, we're coming off a holiday weekend, and of course, all the snow. We expect to get a report from them very soon. But I happened to have the chance to talk to some of the health department people yesterday, and they say that it's a continued situation of what we reported last week. Cases have trended down over earlier in January and through the end of January. However, they've kind of flatlined. They're not reducing anymore. They're kind of staying static. So, the threat of COVID-19 still there, even though cases are down. That's good news, and even though vaccines are being given. Now, I want to make a firsthand report, Jennifer. I had the chance to actually get a COVID-19 shot yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I did. I was very fortunate to slip in there. My wife and I got it, and Dan Morrow there. We were all down there. They had 3 doses left, and by golly, we were made a beat down there. And as far as side effects, everybody wants to know about this. My arm hurts a little bit, but not a whole lot. No other side effects. For a very short time, my hair turned green, but it was only for 10 minutes. It was only for 10 minutes, and it's back to regular now. Just kidding for all you who take things literally. But they went, Jody Strite, who is the director of nursing there, does a great job. She actually gave me a shot. She went down the whole spiel of what to expect and all like that. And the shot itself, this is true. I know some people worry about this. I'm included, I'll admit it. The shot itself does not hurt. Some shots do hurt more than others when they're given. This one did not. It went very smoothly. And as far as side effects, they talk about the headaches, they talk about the fever, they talk about the sore throat, fatigue. None of those for me.
Okay.
Now, this was my
Good.
first shot. I have to take my second one. So, if you think that you need to take the shot, please don't be afraid of the side effects, okay? Please do that. And remember, the more people who get the vaccination, I know a lot of people have got to wait before they do it, the more of a chance that we're going to lick this thing. I mean, that's my view, and I'm a person who will not take a shot unless I feel I really have to. All
Amen.
right. Okay. Are you guys going to take your shot?
Yeah, I mean, I probably will. I just, it's so far off, I feel like, for us that I haven't even really thought about it yet.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I kind of changed my mind at first. I was really leery about it, but I think I will.
Okay. Well, most people are, but a lot of people are either taking a wait and see attitude or are right now inclined not to. So we will see what happens there. Okay. Moving on. We just received this news this morning, and this is important for the religious community. There is a program that's been going on for a number of years, Jennifer. I'm sure you've heard of it, the Lay Lenten Luncheon Program.
Yes.
They have it at the First Baptist Church during Lent.
Yes.
And today is Ash Wednesday. So this is the start of Lent, so it would normally start today. Well, this is a group thing down in the basement of the church. They have lunch and they have a brief service, and they do this each Wednesday during Lent. Obviously, the pandemic is not going to allow that to happen safely. So the Jackson Ministerial Association, which organizes the Lay Lenten program, and Janie Carl, who is the diaconical minister at the Christ United Methodist Church, she's kind of spearheaded a way to still have something in lieu of the Lay Lenten luncheons, and those are video presentations, devotional services that will be available on the Christ United Methodist Church Facebook page. You can access that at Jackson, CUMC/videos. They do their church services on that Facebook page, so some folks have probably visited there. Easy to access, if you have a computer or a phone. But the first service today will be an Ash Wednesday service, and will be at 5:30 tonight. And it will be at the Methodist Church, but of course you see it online. And that service will start at 5:30. Will start at 5:30 p.m. and it will be live streamed. Then there will be devotionals or services each Wednesday through Lent, ending with a community Good Friday service on April the 2nd. That, of course, is on a Friday. Most of these, though, all of them, I believe, will be on a Wednesday up until then, with different pastors stepping up to do the services. So, also, what else do we want to tell you? The Vinton County Courthouse has a new phone system in place. This is very important if you're accessing the courthouse. It's going to be a little different. You do call the main switchboard number, as you always have. That is 740-596-4571. 740-596-4571. When you hit that switchboard, though, you'll be given options for the different offices there. And now there are single-digit numbers for each office for their office directory. So you will not be punching in a 3-digit code. You'll be punching in a 1-digit code. And you just simply, if you don't know that code, they will recite it to you on the recording, and then that will access you with that office. That new system is now in place. That is part of a major communications upgrade at the courthouse that will include not only the phone system, but also the internet. Also, up Wellston Way, the Wellston City Council will be meeting on Thursday evening. At their most recent meeting, Mayor Charlie Hudson introduced a resolution that will be hopefully lay the groundwork for some important infrastructure improvements in Wellston. It is Resolution 06-2021, and what it does is it involves covering the cost of engineering fees through 2 specific projects through Stantec. That's the city's engineering firm. The proposed projects would involve repaving sections of New York Avenue and West Broadway Street, and also replacing water and sewer lines along those same roadways. Mayor Hudson has a 10-year infrastructure improvement plan, and he's moving ahead with this. Very important to do. A lot of the small towns, Wellston certainly included, aging water and sewer lines, and they need replaced. It's very expensive. You can't do it all at once, but you have to keep picking at it. And that is what Mayor Hudson is doing with one of these first infrastructure projects that they hope to get approval from council to do the engineering on. It takes a while to do all this. Colton Village Council did not meet last night as they normally would have. That's the Tuesday after President's Day. They moved their meeting from Monday to Tuesday. That meeting was canceled. They will meet again on March the 1st. Also, we want to remind you once again that the YMCA's Hopes and Hope Center's warming site did operate last night, according to YMCA Director Tim Harvey. It will operate any of these winter nights when the temperature drops to 15 degrees above zero or there is a wind chill factor of 15 degrees above zero. This is a warming site, not a homeless shelter, and it's at the Hope Center, 84 East Mound Street, not at the Y. The YMCA was instrumental in partnering with the Warriors for Christ that runs the Hope Center to set up this warming site, but it is at the Hope Center. That is behind the Western Auto Store there on Mound Street, 84 East Mound Street. It is open from 7:45 p.m. to 7:45 a.m. on the nights when it is really cold. We want to do a clarification. We told you about how some of these schools are trying to do some of the big end-of-year school events that are so important to the kids. They're traditional events. They remember them. They're scrapbook moments. They're there into our lives. We told you that at Oak Hill, they are planning to do a bunch of those activities, but in a safe way. And Superintendent Marcy Shepard there wanted me to clarify that for the prom, which is scheduled for May the 8th, they're going to try to do as much as possible everything that they normally do. The prom involves a grand march before the prom. They're going to have a meal involved as well. But if they can't have a dance because of COVID, they'll come up with an alternative, and then there will be some sort of after party, they hope. All these things are subject to how COVID goes, but they have already worked with Jackson County Health Commissioner Kevin Aston, and the attitude is we'll find a way to do it. We're not going to automatically say we won't do it. So Jackson County Treasurer Lee Hubbard has announced that the first half real estate taxes are due on February 26th. Most property tax holders should have already received in the mail their first half real estate tax bill. Remember, you have to pay that by February the 26th. If somehow you're a property tax holder and you didn't receive that in the mail, you should contact the treasurer's office because you are responsible for that bill. There's many ways to pay it. You can go to the courthouse. There is a drop box that is now outside the courthouse. You can mail it to the treasurer's office. You can also do it electronically through the Jackson County Auditor's website. And and there is a convenience fee for this, but that is another way to do it without having to go out. And if you have any questions, you can call the treasurer's office at 740-286-2402. Once again, 2402. The drop box is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is located near the main entrance to the courthouse, just to the left of the front door. All right, Jennifer, if you'll let me, I want to brag just a little bit on the Telegram and our staff.
Well, of course.
Well, we have won. We learned this from the Ohio News Media Association. We have won 9 awards in the Osmond C. Hooper newspaper contest. It's held annually. They normally announce all the awards specifically at the newspaper convention in early February. Of course, they can't have that convention. They're going to do a virtual awards presentation sometime before the end of the month. But we already know that we won 9 awards in the following categories: for our coronavirus coverage, for our overall news coverage, for the best news story, for the best local feature, for original columns, for sports coverage, for advertising, for best feature photo, and best headline. Now, it's not like we beat all these newspapers in the state. We're in a category, and they have 3 places for each of these categories, and we don't know what place that we finished in any of those categories, nor the person who did the picture or wrote the story, but we'll find all that out. A lot of it is a team effort anyway, but we are delighted.
That is
We're
awesome,
delighted about
Pete.
winning 9 awards, and we are well over 100 now in the history of the Telegram since it's been under its current ownership.
And deservedly so, and the crowd goes wild.
Well, thank you, Jennifer, and I'll tell you, since you clapped for me, I put your picture and Jamie's picture on the top fold of today's paper.
Oh no!
It's there. But,
oh my God.
you know,
I thought you liked me, Pete.
No, you know how you looked. You know the picture because you gave me a nice picture of you and Jamie. But the reason that their picture is there, and we talked about this before, I consider it the top story in Jackson County for Wednesday.
Aw.
The big expansion at 6 Cents Brewery, where they're going to use property at 207 East Main Street, and they've also got a lot where the Eagles building used to be for a Phase 2 project. So that's one of the stories in the Telegram, as well as others. We have the Sheriff's Office awards and a bunch of other things in there as well. Of course, report on the weather and all like that. Life goes on. A lot of sports going on. Todd Thompson, Red Thompson, all over that. So anyway, all that will be in our paper. It's out today. The post office is operating. A lot of the stores are open. So if you're subscribers, you should get your paper in the mail today. You can get it off the newsstand. It only costs $1 And of course, if you're a subscriber and a digital subscriber, you can just dial it up on your computer or on your phone. On the basketball front, Jennifer,
Yes.
we don't know whether they're going to be playing ball tonight because, the school is out, but we aren't supposed to get any new snow until overnight or after midnight. That's what I understand. So anyway.
Who knows?
Anyway, we want to wish the Oak Hill Lady Oaks, and that is Chloe Chambers right there taking a shot against Ross Huntington last Saturday. Remember, we told you earlier in the week what a great job the Oak Hill Lady Oaks did in beating Ross Huntington in their first tournament game last Saturday at Oak Hill. Well, tonight they are scheduled to go to Eastern Brown for a sectional championship game against the Eastern Brown team, which is third seeded in the district. That's very high. Oak Hill is the underdog, but if they play like they did on Saturday, who knows? The picture there that you saw on the screen, that was one of Oak Hill's seniors, Chloe Chambers, who's had such a great season this year. But the broadcast tonight, by golly, if they have it, and as far as we know, it's still on, broadcast time about 6:45 p.m. on WCJO 97.7 FM. On the radio, Keith Davis and Brian Howell will be there. They've done a great job broadcasting those games all year. They do a quality broadcast, and they will be going down the Appalachian Highway towards Eastern Brown. Also tonight, this will not be on the radio. We won't be able to do it, but it's important nonetheless. If they have the game again, if the Jackson Ironmen, that's Coach Max Morrow's boys team, they will be hosting Greenfield McLean tonight. And Jackson has 2 games left in the Frontier Athletic Conference, Jennifer. And if they win both of them, they will win a share of the title.
Yes.
If somehow they win both of them and Hillsborough, who is tied with them, would lose a game, they would win the title all alone, undisputed.
Nice.
But Jackson has never won an FAC title. There hasn't been a lot of basketball championships over the years for Jackson. So the team and the coach and everybody associated with the team, very excited. By the way, their other game that they have is next Saturday, tentatively, at Chillicothe. So they will have to win that game, too. But tonight's game, not on our broadcast schedule, but for now, it's on at Jackson High School. So there you are.
Wow, Pete. No wonder you win all these awards. You're just so full of it. Good stuff.
All right. Well, thank you.
In a good way.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. No, thank you, Pete. We really appreciate you, and congratulations.
All right, and,
well
and congratulations to you again as well.
Well, thank you, buddy. All right, and if you see Pete out and about and his arm falls off his body, it's just because of his COVID shot. Don't worry about it. Just kidding. We like to harass him a little bit. All right, and of course, Pete's Morning News Update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell or have real estate questions or needs, please give her a call, 740-418-4135, and she will be out working for you or help you out along the way. All right, let's head on over to your Total Media Radio weather forecast, where you can have live local radio on your phone by downloading the app anytime, anywhere in the world you want to listen. That's some pretty cool stuff. You can download that app at the Apple App Store, or if you have an Android, the Google Play Store. And the weather forecast for tonight, as Pete mentioned, looks to me like overnight, around 1, maybe in the morning, we will have some snow start. Will snow overnight, and anywhere from a couple of inches, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4, who knows? Look out the window. And that's what's going to happen. But for today, mostly cloudy, highs around 28. Those darn pesky wind chill values, though, as low as 10 degrees. For tonight, as I said, that the snow does come in overnight with lows around 23. New snow accumulation in our area anyway. They're calling between 1 inch and 1.5 inches. For tomorrow on Thursday, cloudy. And what's going to happen is that snow is going to start mixing with some rain. So it just kind of depends on what the weather or what the temperature does as to what we're going to get here. But they're calling for cloudy, rain, and snow tomorrow. Highs around 35. Wind chill values, though, as low as 26. New snow accumulation between 1 and 1.5 inches possible. So, again, that total snow fall will probably be, I would guess, somewhere around 1 to 3 inches, something like that. I think WSAZ or the Huntington stations were calling for 2 to 4 inches, but it just depends on where you fall in that stream of the storm. So certainly not as bad as they were predicting the first of the week. So we'll take it. So what is happening, John? You didn't know, but we do have a special guest here on the program today.
I saw the guest.
Yes, and so here is the story. Jamie left the house this morning, and he was worried about getting his rusty pickup truck out of our driveway, and so he leaves, and like 2 minutes later, I hear the garage door open again and his truck pull back in. And I thought, oh no, he couldn't get out the driveway. So he opens the door and says, Houston, we have a problem. And I said, oh no, did you wreck your truck? And he said, no. And he walked around the corner holding this little nugget there.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that little fur ball is,
it's not a wig like I thought.
Courtney thought she was a wig. This is a dog that he found in a ditch along our driveway this morning, and we're not sure if she's been hit or whatever. We are trying to find her home. She's definitely a senior dog. She has some blindness issues. So we're praying that someone did not throw her out, and I'm hoping she just got lost.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's here with us this morning. She's shaking. She was very, very cold when he brought her in. And if anybody knows anybody missing this cute little fur ball, please let us know. Give us a shout out. And if not, she is going to go get checked out here in a little bit, just to make sure. We're not sure if she was hit or not. So,
Okay.
I have to say though, like she was kind of like looking around when Pete was talking.
I
think
know.
she liked Pete's voice.
I think she
Maybe
liked Pete. That was the only time she perked up since she's been here.
Pete and Pam might have a dog to add to their
That's
cat collection.
right. So I wish she'd show her face. She's awful cute, but she's just chilling here with us. And James got her own camera so she could be a guest this morning here on the program. But I already talked with the vet, Dr. Parker, and he said that he would be happy to check her out. And we're going to check her for a chip and see if maybe we can find out where she belongs.
Yeah.
So.
Mark, Dr. Parker, sent me a text a few days ago, and I passed it on to Pete and to Matt. And it was all about, especially in this kind of weather, if we do have outside pets,
Yes.
we need to be very extra cautious. Now, we have, at our house, we have a bed, one of those cat beds, heated cat beds on the front porch.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own a cat, but we also have food and water, and we have some passersby who stopped by. And last night it was a really pretty black and white cat. And we keep that bed plugged in. It's got a cover and everything so they can get out of the cold. But
Oh, that's so sweet.
this is the kind of weather, though, that, if you have an
It is.
outside pet, make sure that, that they have shelter and some warmth and plenty of food and water, because this is hard on them too.
It is, and if you don't want to be out walking around in it, neither do they. And we got to laughing at Marley yesterday because our front yard is sloped, and she walked out and she wasn't heavy enough to go down through the ice, so she had her toes all out this way, trying to walk. And then she tried to squat to go potty, and she just kept sliding. We're like, sweetie, we're not laughing at you. We're not laughing
That's
with
right.
you. But it was so sad.
She's probably saying, "You guys come out here and try
I
this."
know, right?
Yeah, Augie had some issues going to the bathroom yesterday too.
Yes.
He got to one part of the yard, fell through, so then he was trying to jump, and of course his legs are only 3 inches high.
His legs are this long.
So then when he would try to jump out of the snow, then he would fall back in it. Mike said it was pretty comical to get him back on the porch.
And we have snow and ice. I always go out in the back. We have a back fenced in area
Yeah.
for our fur babies, and I go out and shovel the sidewalks, not necessarily for us.
Just so the doggies can get.
We have a gate that goes to the mailbox and a place that goes to the storage shed, and I keep those so the dogs can traverse
Yeah.
outside.
It's pretty sad. We're
Right.
all a bunch of suckers, aren't we?
are.
So, well, if anyone knows where this little nugget belongs, please let us know. So, yeah. But
Okay.
no, it is. There she is again, and she's awful sweet. But yeah, that is true. Make sure that you protect the pads of their feet. And if you are walking like out on a city street, try to avoid walking them across all the salt because that can burn the pads on their feet as well. And as I said, get them all little Ugg boots, and then we don't have to worry.
And then all of our days will be brightened because we'll all be watching a bunch of dogs walking
Like
all
walking like
crazy.
this, yeah, with their Ugg boots on.
Speaking of cold weather, I saw your wonderful forecast. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Hey, I'm there for you, man.
So, our Wilson Rotary Club is going to be cooking beans and chili outside this Saturday morning, and of course we'll be serving from noon till 5. And if I had known it'd be like this, I would have planned something else and not volunteered.
I was going to say, I mean, it's only going to be 12 degrees on Saturday
I know,
afternoon,
we'll get
so-
up in the morning and
Don't
it's
worry.
going to be cold. There'll be a fire for the beans, a fire for the soup, and a fire for us. Hopefully. I'm going to have to call Tim and tell him bring enough wood for 3 fires.
That's
But we'll be
right.
out there prepping and cooking, so
That
you don't
sounds
have to be out
delicious,
in the
though.
cold to enjoy it. Just stop by. Carry outs only. You can stop by and we'll fill you up with soup beans, and there'll be chili. And a very big thank you goes out to Jim Bottling. They'll be donating a ski. And Jason from the store, Jason Osapple,
Yes.
he's given us water. So
Awesome.
the donation will be, of course, go to our Rotary projects. So
Very, very good. And there is just something about beans and chili out cooked on the
I
open
know.
fire. No idea why it makes it so much better,
It
but it
is
just
good.
does. Will you have some cornbread too?
don't push it.
Okay. That would be 4 fires, guys. Go ahead and get that one started as well.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
By the way, today, happy World Human Spirit Day today.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, we're supposed to be up and
Oh, not like ghosts, like
no.
positivity.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
Spirit Day. I mean,
I was thinking, like
Haunting.
Casper.
I think after 2020 that COVID were a little shy on human spirit, but
I was going to say, again, they're really pushing it, aren't they?
that's right.
Don't push it,
All
John.
right, it's an old holiday. They're trying to celebrate this year. It ain't gonna work.
Oh, my goodness.
And speaking of holidays, what was it? Monday was President's Day?
Yep.
And I was checking out all the different salutes, different presidents. They always go for Washington and Lincoln and those. But I was reading this President's Day deal on Garfield. Remember him? James Garfield?
Oh, not the cat, but the...
No. The president, James
You
Garfield.
are really confusing me this morning.
This is kind of cool. Did you know that James Garfield could write in Latin with one hand and Greek with the other hand at the same time?
That's crazy.
Okay, my question is, how do you ever know that you can do that?
I mean, it was
Like, who
documented
decided
that
I think I'm gonna try this?
Try this.
That is pretty cool.
It is cool.
I mean, it's all Greek to me, but
So it's your move, Joe Biden.
That's right.
See what you can do. So we've got most of our
Interesting.
winter events are out of the way. Super Bowl's out of the way. Valentine's Day is out of the way. President's Day is out of the way. The Daytona 500, they finally got it off and it's out of the way. But I think all we have left is Shamrock Shakes, I think. I don't know.
I'm there.
I know, me too.
I think those are delicious.
Did you and Connie enjoy your Valentine's Day?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
Good.
Did you do anything special and fun?
Not necessarily, no. We exchanged gifts and,
Did you give her the old hard cash like you said you were going
oh
to?
yeah, hard cash. I've learned my lesson. Cash always fits.
Cash
always,
is
it's
king.
the right color. It always fits. And she enjoys it. So, and she gets to do what she wants to with it. So,
Very good. Well, what did she get you in return?
well, yeah, I haven't got it yet, but because I have to have it installed. See, I went out and let me back up. There's prerequisites for automobiles for my wife. Heated seats,
Sure.
heated steering wheel, remote start,
Yes. All of the above.
all of those different things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went out and bought a car that I really liked, but it didn't have heated seats, heated steering wheel, or an remote start. So she has purchased me a remote start.
Nice. In this
I'm-
weather, it's definitely
It
needed.
might be too late for it by the time I get it in, but hey, it'll be good for next year.
That's right. Well, I will thank Connie ahead of time then, because now that you have your remote start, the cold weather will go away.
That's right. That's the plan.
Although they're exceptionally good for hot weather as well,
I know.
because, especially if do you have leather seats? If you have leather seats, they get super hot, and then
Mine's like the combination, the leather
Oh.
on the outside, but where you plant your butt is cloth.
He really did go for the model down, didn't he?
I'm more
No,
like
that's good.
the
No,
owner-
but the remote start is very good. Butt warmers are a prerequisite for me, and this little pumpkin here, which I just got a message, we have found where she goes. Thank
Oh,
goodness.
wonderful.
So yeah,
Yay.
she's our neighbor's puppy, so we will take her back in a little bit. But anyway, she got her. I turned her butt warmer on for her this morning. I said, "Sweetie, I know you're cold. Let me turn this on for you."
Oh.
Now, she's all cuddled up.
Yep,
She's enjoying this.
she's having a good time, and she got to star on the show today, so that's
That's
good.
right.
There you go.
She's happy.
There
I'm
you
glad
go.
Her owner was
Hey, I do have a
Yes.
store in happiness,
She's good.
a story.
Yes.
Oxford University and also Yale Universities did a study
Okay.
on happiness. And they found out what is important to people and their happiness. 1.2 million Americans found that if they exercised regularly, they are happier than if they had a lot of money.
I could see that. It wouldn't hurt to do both, though.
I mean, that's the kind of information you don't want to leak out,
No,
because
right?
pretty soon we're going to have Powerballs and they don't give you cash, they give you gym memberships. you
You
know?
get the Peloton bike instead.
So we don't want to get that out.
Oh my gosh. Has anyone ever been on a Peloton bike? Because they're terrifying to me. Those instructors are crazy. They're very. So I did a cycling class one time on a cruise ship, and I thought I was literally going to throw up and die in the middle of the class, and I will never do it again. It was awful.
Well, that's those.
You find out how out of shape you really are quickly.
That's true. Those instructors on the Peloton screens, they're meant to, encourage you, or just scare you, so
Or
you do.
terrify you.
So you'll do it, so that they don't beat you up. I think.
Which I guess the one good thing about Peloton is you're almost like competing against other people. And this is what I've been told
Okay.
is that when you first start it, it's like you're at the 80th percentile. And so then you're like motivated to be like, I'm not going to be the worst one on this thing. So, yeah, but when I was on the bike on the cruise ship, there were probably like 25 people in the class. And my bike I picked was the one that squealed and squeaked the whole time. So the instructor took it upon himself to name me Squeaky.
Are you sure it was the bike that was squealing and
Well,
squeaking?
it might have been just because I'd been too many trips to the buffet. But, so the whole time he's going, come on, Squeaky, get it going, Squeaky. And I'm like, I'm going to throw up here. And everyone's looking at me. Anyway, so he said, as we were leaving, he said, I hope to see you again tomorrow. And I was like, there's not a chance. Give me my card back.
Ain't no way.
Dude, unless you're going to be at the bar, it ain't happening.
Last time I was here, we talked about Generation Z and the millennials who found out how to quit a job, just don't show up.
Yeah,
just
ghosting. Don't call. Yeah.
Got some more info on millennials. This is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The millennial guys, what they call the woke generation, they've been preaching, of course, about the equality for women. They did a survey, and they found out that the millennial men help the least of all generations around the house.
Millennial men help the least around
That's
the
right.
house. Interesting.
They said that if you go by the millennial men and what they do around the house, that total equality for women will now take 200 years. But of course, the journey always starts with a single step. But
You also might have a lot of single millennial men out there.
I was going to say, fellas, you better step it up because this isn't going to end well for you.
I know. Hey, I almost threw this story away, and then I thought I better bring it because, I threw it away because I didn't know I was going to be here today. Because as you know, when I stopped being on the air, they just put a desk in a corner down there, and
they tether you to it.
Yeah, they just call me when they need me. But this research is out of Germany to determine if your surroundings affect your eating habits.
Okay. I could definitely think
you're going to have to think about this one because they found that food tastes better, according to the people they surveyed, when they eat at a table that has a tablecloth.
Well, that has to be psychological for sure. Really?
When's the last time you ate at a table with a tablecloth? Does paper count?
If you count lining with making a placemat out of a paper towel.
Yeah, that's right.
No, my mom always has tablecloths and beautiful linens, so I will say that.
My wife uses at our dinner table. She always has a tablecloth too. And they also found this.
Is that because she can't cook and she knows?
No, my wife is a good cook.
So you think?
Take away that tablecloth and report back.
Okay, we'll see.
Just kidding, Connie.
Okay. You can come over and tell her. Then they also found that the dimmer the light in the restaurant, the less salty the food tastes.
Okay, wait. So, dimmer
the light,
the less
salty the food tastes. I think that makes sense because if the light's dim, you probably miss your food with a salt shaker.
That could be.
No, but
that's probably it.
But there's some things. What they call it is, the ambiance, the atmosphere.
Yes. Well, and there's let's take a survey about that. Speaking of ambiance and atmosphere,
Okay.
Are you a cool light bulb kind of person or a warm light bulb kind of person?
When I'm eating, I kind of like to be a warm light bulb person. I kind of like to see what's going on.
Right. Because I just don't like those cool lights. It just makes everything look blue and like it should be like futuristic outer space or something.
you know, you eat at candlelight and they say,
You want your light bulbs to look like
Yeah.
flames, right?
that's right, I
I
guess.
feel like. What do you think, Courtney?
Well, my only thought is, like, if I'm at a restaurant eating and say we get there a little earlier and then they do the mood lighting, and then,
Mhm.
like, there's a certain time the lighting goes
You like
down.
turn it down?
If it's, like, in the middle of us eating, it throws you for a loop for
It
sure.
does.
Because you're like, what happened? Where did the lights go?
Yep.
But I think if I would go in there and it was already, it's like your eyes have already adjusted to
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I don't like it when I'm in the middle. But I mean,
That
can't really
is
do anything
tough.
about
It
that.
does make it tough whenever you're
It just feels like it got really dark when you've already been in there.
right. For
But,
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I like a little ambiance for special occasions, I guess.
Yeah. Little something, something. Someone keeps calling me. I apologize. It's probably the doggy's owner would be my guess, but I don't know. So we'll get to it in just a minute. So yeah. Oh, speaking of doggies, I have a story for you.
Okay.
And since you,
We have a surprise visitor.
yeah, didn't you know? What?
Mr. Metzler's here to get his dog.
Hi,
All right.
Mr. Metzler.
Oh, yay!
Look how good she's being. She is, and she even got her own camera this morning, so you can see.
Yay!
So yes, you are more than welcome to take your little puppy with you.
She doesn't bite.
She won't bite you. She's a precious angel.
Wake up, crazy. Come on.
Aww.
yay.
Now she's good.
Zone blind.
Yes, we noticed.
All right.
She's a cutie pie. Thanks for coming to get her.
Thank you for rescuing.
Oh, you're welcome. We rescue her any day.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yay!
Happy
Good
ending.
story. Woo! Yeah, and another happy ending. So there was this dog in Pennsylvania who was in a shelter for 7 years, and I have no
Aw.
idea, and bounced from shelter to shelter, and no one would ever adopt this sweet puppy. And his name is Happy, and so he was finally adopted by a guy who just happened. He ended up at this new shelter, and this guy had just lost his senior rescue dog, and just happened to see Happy's face on there, and didn't know the story at all, and was just like, I have to have this dog. And they said Happy, it was just love at first sight, and he went and got Happy, and now they're best friends. And he said he wasn't really emotionally ready to take another dog home, but once he saw him, that he just decided that it was time to
Yep.
do it. And so he drove the 2 hours to the shelter, and once he got to that shelter, it only took him 6 days to get adopted after 7 years of bouncing from shelter to shelter. And they said that he is the sweetest dog, and they have no idea why he never got adopted. It's just crazy.
It is.
So isn't that such a good story?
That's a good
though?
story. It's a happy story.
Yeah, and he's
About
very
Happy.
happy. Yeah. Happy for Happy.
That's right.
That's right.
By the way, if you're looking for a job, I have something for you.
Okay.
It's remember 1935 when Planters Peanuts came up with their Peanut Mobile?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Wienermobile, but
yeah,
it's
it
a
was
peanut.
a Peanut Mobile.
Yeah.
And of course, the lucky Planter salesperson was able to drive it, but it really wasn't what you'd call roadworthy now with all those. But they have now built
Okay.
3 gigantic Nutmobiles.
So there's
26
new
feet
Nutmobiles.
long. They are equipped with GPS, and they're street legal now. And they're looking for a team of what they call peanutters
A team of peanutters.
to drive these 3 vehicles. You have to be a college grad and, of course, a good driving record. You get to wear peanut logo clothing.
There's just so many paths you can take with this.
You know, it's probably one of the few times you can say, I work for Peanuts with a smile on your face, too. But
Exactly.
anyway,
I don't know. Is the Peanut Mobile a step up from the Wienermobile?
Don't know. I say the new ones are, yeah.
I would have to think.
Now they
so,
used
too.
to. They don't use the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile anymore, except for I think you can rent it for like going to proms and
Yeah, I think we had a
Weddings.
story that you could get married. You could rent it for like to get married.
right.
In
Use the
or in
peanut
front of,
mobile.
or-
I mean, I think that's fantastic.
Use the Wienermobile.
Well, it's because all the college interns wrecked them. All the Wienermobiles.
So is this the outfit you have to wear when you drive the peanut mobile or the nut mobile? You have to
There it
dress
is.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
That is awesome. I feel like I want one of those to travel in.
Can you imagine?
That's
showing
your
up at
uniform.
An RV camp?
Your monocle and your. I like it.
Yeah.
Very classy.
You know, I'm big on food stuff, food news.
Yeah, of course.
Got a new Kit Kat bar coming out.
A new Kit Kat bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Kit Kat bar for vegans. It's called the Kit Kat V, and it's for vegans. And it's a delicious plant-based option for candy lovers. course-
Okay.
Of course, I'm not sure that I've ever heard delicious and plant-based used in the same sentence, but
Well, I'm wondering what would not be vegan in a Kit Kat? I'm just asking.
I don't know.
I'm guessing the milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate. Yeah,
Probably.
probably. There's probably
non-dairy.
eggs and
Yeah.
stuff in it, I would guess. Yeah.
It's supposed to show up on American shelves. They're testing it in European countries now.
The
but
Kit Kat. Do you know how many kids are going to be really mad when they buy that, not knowing, open it up and be like, "This is not the candy bar I wanted." Or parents trying to sneak them the vegan kind instead.
I know the feeling. I can no longer eat real candy. I have to eat sugar-free candy now. And some of it's not too bad.
That's true.
But you eat it and it's sort of like swallowing a rock, you know, but it's all right.
Kind of like grape nuts.
Yeah, kind of like grape nuts. Just as hard to eat. Speaking of food, the new big food in the market now, you know, it used to be for a couple years, kale was the you know, the inside health food.
Mm-hmm.
The new one now, mushrooms.
Mushrooms are all the rage, huh?
All the rage, which
Yeah.
means prices will probably go up. And, or you could say their prices are mushrooming, but I won't say that. But the benefits to mushrooms
Mm-hmm.
is they're fat-free, low calories, low sodium, and gluten-free.
That's awesome until you come to Archinetti's and eat them.
Unfortunately, they're
Battered and deep fried.
they got all that good stuff, except it, you know, it's all that stuff's not on the pizza that I throw them on each and every
That's
day.
true.
But anyway, it's the new food, the in food, mushrooms.
I'm a mushroom fan. You guys like mushrooms?
Oh, I like mushrooms.
I do too. Like they really freak people out.
I
I think-
definitely like mushrooms better than kale, so
Yeah.
I'm for it.
You're
I
in.
like
It's for good. And as a matter of fact, mushrooms have become so popular, and they've always been popular in France, that they've come up with a new company that is growing mushrooms and delivering them the day you order them. And what they're doing is they've bought out some old underground parking garages, and they're raising mushrooms
Makes
there.
sense.
You order them, and they'll deliver them that day on a bicycle.
Because it would be dark and cool down there,
Yeah.
right? They deliver them on a bicycle?
Yeah, they have the oyster and the, you know, the
Is it called
white
the
button
Mushroom
mushrooms and all
Express?
that.
Is it called the Mushroom Express?
I guess. And they're really good mushrooms. They're like regular mushrooms with kind of a hint of carbon monoxide
And motor oil?
and motor oil. Yeah, but
I mean, it just gives them that extra something we've all needed.
but I guess it's going well because they've bought several underground garages to do this with. So
I mean, hey, more power to them. They can grow mushrooms and weed.
I was thinking some people that are used to getting mushrooms delivered on a bicycle might be expecting a different type of
different
mushroom.
delivery. Yeah. What kind of mushrooms are they?
Yeah. What is actually going on here? Well, a
Might be
couple
that.
quick things
Yeah,
before we get out of here.
sure.
The first one is that they've now let's see, what do they call it? The FAA,
Yes,
the
those
Federal
people.
Aviation Administration, whatever it's called. They have now approved the first flying car. It will go 100 miles an hour at 10,000 feet.
What?
Yep. It's called the Terrafuga Transition Roadable Aircraft. And to me, it doesn't look like a car. It just looks like an airplane with the wings folded up. But
Yeah.
they've approved that. It'll drive on the road, and then those wings will fold up so it'll drive into your garage.
Interesting.
Uh,
So
when
how do you take off though?
When the wings, well, you have to have.
Like you're
Oh.
just driving down Main Street and you decide you want to fly? Does
I
it
was
you have to
thinking-
clear the path?
Have a long driveway, I guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a high-speed chase, like rob a bank and then fly away.
And just
Or you have to worry about icy
your mind
roads.
would go there, wouldn't
I
it?
We have the problem I see with it is that the wingspan is 27 feet.
So you'd be just knocking everybody out going down the
Yeah,
street.
you'd have to. You'd
Have a
have to.
pretty
You'd take up
clear-
the whole app going in order to
Right.
take off.
I mean, that would be okay if you could just take off. I mean, there's no one on the Appalachian Highway anyway, especially going to Cincinnati. So
And
you'd have plenty of room to take off.
And I guess the way they design that is, let's say, for instance, if you do travel, you could fly and land at like Rhodes International Airport we have here,
Yeah.
and then fold up the wings and drive wherever you wanted to.
Wouldn't
Drive
have to rent a
back.
car.
Yeah.
Put your
and
wings back out, take off.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I actually like that idea.
Hmm
So
Better than mine.
So it's the first flying car.
it's better than Courtney's idea. I think I'll rob a bank.
fly off.
If she starts buying one of those cars, we'll know what she's up to.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Hey, speaking of flying, this is a good story
Okay.
before we get out of here, because we like to end on a good note, right?
Let's do it.
There was a couple who did not speak English. They spoke Spanish, and they wanted to go to Portland, Maine, and ended up, unfortunately, on a plane to Portland, Oregon. So, because there was a communication issue. So they were 3,000 miles away from where they were supposed to be. It was a family of 3, and they arrived in Oregon. And the Spanish-speaking passengers spent an entire night in the Portland International Airport, and they were very confused. They didn't know what to do. And a TSA officer, Martin Rios, which I assume he's probably bilingual, came to their aid and kind of took them under his wing. And not only did he help them book the proper flight the next day, but he used his own money to do it.
Oh.
And he helped them get where they were going.
Wonderful.
Isn't that like the nicest story?
It's
And this is one of those where you'd think the TSA would be all mad about that or something, but they weren't. They said it was no surprise at all. He has been since day one a shining example of what it means to be a team player. He's the kind of officer and any person, any airport in the country would be proud to have on their team. So, yeah, pretty neat
Super.
stuff. Yeah,
Good.
that couldn't have been cheap either.
No, it wasn't bad.
So there you go. Good story for the day. All right. So we talked about, let's see, the filling station, the store Broadway, Penn and Wellston, Hoser's Pizza. I know you're a fan.
Yes, I am, and their cauliflower crust pizza.
The cauliflower crust, yes.
Get you some mushrooms on it.
Get you, that's right.
With
You can get
mushrooms on it.
mushrooms on it and you're good to go.
There you go.
And you can get all of those toppings at any of those locations. So very, very good there. Also, I think we have a new special of the week for Carmen up there, and it is a Jeep Patriot. So with all this icky weather that we have going on, if you're looking for something that goes a little better in the snow, than what we've had, or that what you've had, then please get out to Carmen's. He has plenty of Jeeps. He has 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, all of that, and you'll be glad that you did. So, all right, weather forecast. Again, don't forget that we do have some snow in the forecast overnight tonight, probably an inch or two overnight, maybe a little bit tomorrow. So look out John's weather window and you'll know. So. Well, John, it was so good seeing you, and
Thank you.
thanks for coming up and hanging out with us. It's always so much fun.
Well, thank you. I'll go back to my desk in the corner if you need me. Just
They'll tether him back down. He'll be okay.
Just ring.
And glad our puppy got
yes.
found her home, so that was a good thing as well.
I never did hear her name.
I didn't either. We'll have to ask.
Yeah.
And I'll have to ask my neighbor.
But it was nice having her with us.
So it was. It's always
Really.
fun to have a cute puppy laying around. So.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, this is what social media is good for. Things exactly like that.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a good thing. All right. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be right back here tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.